It's a beautiful day today, and it's about to get even more beautiful because today we're reading about some more entitled people, up there with choosing beggars in terms of how frustrating they are. And let's get right into it. Enjoy, guys. A stranger tells me to babysit her kids. I was reading another post on here that reminded me of this happening to me. I guess the lady assumed that because I was a mum, I owed it to her to watch her kids. This happened to me many years ago when my daughters were babies. I was on a leisurely stroll around my apartment complex, my baby in the stroller and my toddler walking around with me. We looked at grass, rocks and butterflies, etc. as we walked. Suddenly a woman backs her car up to me and jumps out pointing at me saying, You babysit for me, yeah? She didn't give me time to answer and she moved quick as she opened her back doors and her trunk. She was grabbing out little zipper lunch coolers and blankets and I think a few toys. Her young kids got out of the car looking scared. She continued, You babysit my kids, I pay you. I said, No, I don't know you and you don't know me. Your kids don't know me. But she insisted, I made their lunch, trying to hand me the lunch coolers. I pay you, okay? I insisted that I would not and she said, Okay, babysit them just for today then, I pay you. How long had she expected this stranger to keep her kids? I said no again and walked away. She was still yelling out to me, trying to get me to babysit while I rushed away best I could with my kids. I'd never seen that woman before in my life. Crazy. Yeah, that's confusing and terrifying. Oh my god, so is the top comment. I left my then toddler in my nan's care. I came back home knowing they're at the playground. Minutes later, my nan strolls in without my kid. Turns out she needed to use the toilet, but not to worry, she left my son with this really nice man. I don't think I ever ran so fast in my life. Thank God that she left him with a normal guy. A dad playing with his own kid in the sandpit, but come on. The guy saw my face as I descended on him and said, I tried to tell her, she wouldn't listen and she insisted it was okay. My nan was never allowed alone with my kid after that. Take my kids and babysit them, I'll pay you. Why? What's going on? Like, of course, that's super unnerving, but also so confusing. Like, why? What's happening? Is everything okay? Are you okay? Are they your children? What's going on? The next one says, neighbor takes money off of my property and then calls me rude. My friends and I were headed to the movies the other day. They carpooled to my house and then I drove from there. Note, I recently moved into this new home in a very nice neighborhood. Important later. At the theater, friend reaches into her pocket for money and realizes her cash is missing. Search around and in the car and it cannot be found. At dinner, she asked me to check my security camera to see if she dropped it in my driveway. I look, but I can't tell. However, I said there's a video 5 minutes later. It shows a car pull up and a woman jump out of the passenger seat, walk into my driveway and pick up the cash, hop back in the car and drive off. I decided to post it on Facebook in my POA group. The following, I'm hoping someone can help. My friend was visiting today and dropped some cash in my driveway. I have a video of a lady in a white car get out and come into my driveway and pick it up. I have pictures of the person and the car. If anyone has any information, please let me know. This was a lot of money to her. Thank you. I'll refrain from posting her picture because those things cannot be undone. A bit later, a lady responded, I'll come by tomorrow. That's it, nothing else. Cue the next afternoon and she comes to my door. This boomer Karen starts off the conversation in an angry way, telling me that my Facebook post was very rude because I posted that I have a picture of the person and what was I going to do? Call the police? I told her that she was lucky that I didn't post her picture and that she was in the wrong by coming onto my property and taking something that wasn't hers. I mean, she took money from my property and she's mad at me. She said it was barely on my property. Has she forgotten that I've got a video? And she was waiting to see if anyone reported it, but is mad that someone did. I told her that by her logic, if she leaves a bike in her driveway, I can grab it and take it home and keep it if no one reports it. She continued to argue and I decided I wasn't going to waste any more time on this lady. The best part? I found out that she lives right next door. Great welcome to the neighborhood. And also POA means Property Owners Association. I had no idea what that stood for. But yeah, surely tell the police about this immediately. They said they did give the money back. But still, somebody like this would probably do this again. And yeah, the way they reacted was hilarious. They're only frustrated because they got caught. And that's so annoying. Like, do you not realize that you're the one who's in the wrong? Yeah, good luck with this. I feel like somebody who would do this would definitely do it again, but hopefully not. Entitled neighbor leaves a note on my car every single week. I live in an apartment building with no parking, so I have no choice but to park on the street. My street also has a school on it that prohibits parking on its side on Monday to Friday until 6 p.m. The other side has 2-hour parking even for permit holders. The entire area is permit parking only, which I have. So there's a total of about 7 spots on my block where permit holders can leave their cars. And because of this, I can never get a spot on my block and I park one block down, which is the same permit zone. This area is all houses and each one has a driveway. I typically don't use my car every day, but I never go without it for long stretches, unless I'm traveling. It's also a parking violation here to leave your car in one spot for longer than 72 hours, which apparently some people take very seriously. Recently, one of my neighbors has been leaving a note on my car every single week. This is not an exaggeration. I've gotten 4 notes in the last 4 weeks citing the above parking code, even if my car has only been there for less than 2 days. The note always says that I can't leave my car in one spot for multiple days, which I technically have 72 hours. I always ignore the note because even if I got reported, which I'm sure I have been, someone from the city comes out the next day for an inspection and then monitors the vehicle for the next 72 hours to see if it's still there. This law is really to prevent abandoned vehicles, not for people getting upset about cars parked in front of their houses for multiple days. The hilarious part is that the note goes on to say how disrespectful it is to your neighbors to leave your cars parked in front of their houses, but constantly leaving notes on cars is totally respectful. This has been going on for months, but this was the first time I got 4 notes in a row, and now I'm going for the high score. I know it's a law, and I rarely leave my car parked in one spot for longer than 3 days, never more than a week unless I'm traveling, in which case I leave it at the office to avoid street sweeping. Also, my car isn't old, dirty, or looks abandoned. This person truly just has nothing better to do with their life, than annoying everybody. Like, it's not even an issue, is it? I am very bored, so I'm gonna create a problem that doesn't even exist. That's so annoying, and I'm so happy that this person doesn't care too much about it, because what are they gonna do? They are following the rules, so they're not gonna get in trouble about it. I think people just love being annoying. Entitled mum and entitled daughter in Target parking lot. This happened a few months ago. I was coming out of Target mid-morning on a weekday. I noticed 2 adult women standing by the passenger side of their vehicle, a large SUV. The SUV was parked in the very first spot in the row, but the row was off to the side of the entrance. There were 2 spaces between their vehicle and mine. The cart return was 2 spaces over to the right of my vehicle on the other side of my vehicle from the SUV. One of the women, the younger one, was putting a toddler in a car seat. The older one was standing there talking to the younger one. As I'm walking up to my vehicle, I noticed the older one push their cart to the middle of the parking spot next to her and leave it. Now, I have to admit, not putting your cart away is a pet peeve of mine. It's one of those small, low-stakes things that I think show someone's character. Even still, I didn't say anything for a minute because I thought she might still put it away. But she didn't, and it quickly became clear that they were about to leave as they were getting in the car and putting on their seatbelts. So my part that I played is I did say something to her. I rolled my window down, got her attention, and said, "Hi, you forgot to put your cart away." I said it in a friendly voice because I was trying to give her an out so she could be like, "Oh, I forgot," if she wanted. But that's not what she said. She said, "If it's so important to you, why don't you do it yourself?" I said, "Okay, well, if you're not going to do it, then I will," and turned off my car and started getting out to do it. I get out and I get the cart. They call me a Karen. I said, "Sure, you leave your stuff out for other people to deal with because you can't be bothered, but I'm the Karen." As I say this, I'm pushing the cart from between our cars to take it to the cart corral thing. As I come out from between the vehicles, the employee collecting the carts come by and takes it from me. I turn and walk back. At this point, all of a sudden, the older one screams, "My husband got carjacked a month ago, you freaking biatch." Honestly, it was kind of crazy how she went from just talking crap to full-on red-face screaming in just an instant. I told her that had nothing to do with her returning her cart, and then they both yelled at me and said I don't have anything better to do than hang out in parking lots. This made me laugh because weren't we all in the parking lot? As I'm laughing, I said, "Give me a break, I'm here shopping just like you are." At this point, I start walking back to get in my vehicle. Their last shot was, "Why don't you go find a kitten to save since you're so great?" I told them I guess I'd have to since we clearly know that you wouldn't be bothered. And then I called out, "Sorry that you got caught being a crappy person." They flipped me off and drove away. Wow, that's so funny. They had absolutely no comebacks. They're like, "Yeah, well, you should stop being a Karen." Oh, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe you should stop spending all your time in a parking lot. Oh, wait, no, I'm also in a parking lot. Well, yeah, you suck. Like they knew that they were in the wrong, but they just had nothing to say. But they're the sorts of people who have to say something and get super bloody defensive for no reason instead of being like, "Oh, okay, sorry," and putting the shopping cart away. So they get angry and upset and start yelling at them, but it doesn't even make any sense. That's so funny. My former brother-in-law just found out that I play Pokemon Go and demands that I erase my account. Okay, my former brother-in-law, male 38, wants me to have zero contact with his son. I'm okay with that. I refuse to follow former brother-in-law's rules before and have zero contact, but I will not cater to outlandish demands like this one. I play Pokemon Go and I've been playing since it launched. I play with friends and my husband. We've been on this for a while and my nephew used to play when his mother was alive. I barely know who is on or what, just that I send gifts and nothing else. Recently I got an email email from my former brother-in-law demanding that I stop playing since his son and stepson play. I'm like, okay, whatever pal, and ignored the email entirely. He continued to email and then told a lawyer about it. There's nothing he can do to stop me, and I was just sent an email just asking to delete my nephew's friend's profile from my account. I did that, and I hope that was enough to shut this entitled guy up. Yeah, no, he wants me flat off the game entirely. I mean, he has full custody of my nephew. What else does this jerk want from me? I don't even consider my nephew family anymore, and I practically erased all trace of my nephew's pictures from my Facebook and Instagram. I also erased contact information, but the guy does have email, but not a phone number or any other contact information. I emailed and I told him that I'm not deleting my account on Pokemon Go, so grow the hell up and leave me alone. I also said I'll contact my husband's lawyer and would be in touch. He contacted me after I told him to move on and leave us alone. I want nothing to do with him or my nephew. I'm not gonna do any damn requests or take threats of lying down. It's just a game I play with people you called worse than drug addicts, so F off. He hasn't responded since I sent that message, and I got called a biatch by one of his friends because I actually had the gall to not fold to demands. I honestly don't get why former brother-in-law can boss me around like I'm some child. Also, I never requested visits from my nephew since 2022 and refused to send gifts, so what the hell? It isn't like his son can send me messages over Pokemon Go. I also told his lawyer what they do is for them and them alone. I want no contact or any information if there's an emergency. I couldn't care less if my nephew ends up in a foster care if something happens to former brother-in-law or his current wife. It isn't my fault or responsibility. His lawyer said, I'm fed up and I don't want to deal with this anymore. In fact, his lawyer took my side, saying that the demands were outlandish and rude. Former brother-in-law can't tell me I can't attend anime, sci-fi, or events that I've attended for years for fear that my nephew would be attending. I'm not interested in a relationship with a kid who I barely know anymore. So why does this guy, former brother-in-law, get off on talking crap? He's entitled, and I want no desire to disrupt my own life to appease him, or because I play a game on my phone while walking to work. So they think that you can talk with their son on Pokemon Go or something, and they somehow can stop you from using it, even though you can't do that on Pokemon Go. I feel bad for their son. This comment's good. I'd keep a screenshot trail of all his messages so in the future, if the nephew tries to build a relationship with you and wants to know why you weren't involved in his life, you can send him the facts that his father wanted you to have no contact, etc. That way his father can't claim that it was your decision. Yeah, what a crappy thing to do. And for what reason? Yeah, what they're trying to do doesn't even make any sense. And yeah, good luck with this. The next one is called Everyone Here Knows Me. No, they don't. For a period of about 3 years in the early 2000s, I worked as a bank teller. For the most part, it was a good job. My customers were nice, my co-workers were fun to be with, and I enjoyed myself. The branch I worked at was in an area of town that had a lot of retired people who had all purchased their homes 50 years earlier and had never left. They were retired factory workers, construction workers, police officers, firefighters, teachers, and service industry workers. I say that to point out that this was a solid working class neighborhood that definitely skewed towards older demographic. At least 50% of our day-to-day business was with customers who'd been coming to that branch since the Kennedy administration. This was a problem for new employees. We'd often get yelled at by biatchy old Karens when we asked for identification, something required to access bank accounts if the teller couldn't personally vouch for you. Now, most old Karens and Kevins will get pissy for a moment and claim that they'd never been asked for ID before, BS, but they'd eventually relent and give me the ID I required, but not Queen Karen. I'd gotten to know almost all of the regulars and no longer needed ID from them. If Mary came in, I could pull her account up in a heartbeat since she was in there 3 days a week. If Ed needed to cash a check, I did it without question since Ed only ever came to me. Enter Queen Karen, a woman in her late 70s, absolutely dripping in both diamonds and arrogance. The woman had some serious money and wanted everyone to know it. As I said, this branch was in a working class area, but Queen Karen was wearing tens of thousands of dollars in diamond jewelry and had pulled up in a brand new Mercedes S-Class. From the moment she walked in the door, she wore an expression like she was being forced to handle warm dog crap. Me, good morning ma'am, how can I help you today? Karen, I need to pull $5,000 out of my savings, all in hundreds please. She hands me a withdrawal slip with her name and account number filled in. Certainly ma'am, I just need a photo ID please. No, excuse me, I've never been asked for ID before and I won't be asked for it today. Everyone here knows me, so just do what I ask. Okay ma'am, can you tell me which teller knows you? If they sign off on the withdrawal form, I'll be happy to help. This was allowed as an acceptable ID, but we were told that it was only to be used for customers who a branch employee knew personally and could guarantee was who they said they were. It also protected me. If another teller signed the withdrawal form and Karen turned out not to be who she claimed, the other teller would take a hit, not me. Karen, everyone, just go ask someone else. Me, of course ma'am, please give me a moment. I went to every single employee of the branch. I talked to every teller, every loan officer, our investment broker, and both the branch manager and assistant manager, AM, who will show up again in a moment, no one in that branch had a clue who they were, including employees who had been there for more than a decade. I'm sorry, man, but I can't seem to find anyone who knows you, so I will need to see an ID. I understand this is an inconvenience, but it's for your safety. We don't want someone to take money out of your account by pretending to be you. Karen, no, I refuse to be treated this way. Everyone here knows me. I've been banking here longer than you've been alive and have quite a bit of money with your bank. Don't make me take my accounts elsewhere. At this point, AM heard the commotion and came over to see what was going on. I let her take over and deal with Karen. She got paid for that. I didn't. After some back and forth about how I wasn't doing my job and how I was an incompetent boob, how she had so much money at that branch, and how asking for an ID was, in her view, accusing her of being a criminal, my AM was about ready to punch her in the face. AM, again, ma'am, we asked for ID to protect your account. Would you want someone to come in here and pretend to be you, taking money out of your account simply by giving your name? Karen, don't be ridiculous. No one would do that. Now you're just making things up to cover the fact that you and this teller are incompetent. My name is all you're gonna get. AM, ma'am, if you don't show us an ID, we're not gonna process your withdrawal, period. Karen, listen, you little biatch, do you have any idea who I am? I'm half tempted to close my accounts here just to teach you a lesson, but fine, you want to play it that way? Then let's let you have your fun. Karen proceeded to open her purse and throw her ID, her checkbook, a credit card, a social security card, an AARP card, and half a dozen other things at me like she was trying to kill me with them. With each card thrown at my face, she called me stupid, an a-hole, worthless, a nobody, etc. AM, that's it. Fastest, you have the ID you need. Please close this woman's accounts and issue a cashier's check for the amount. Me, all of them. AM, all of them. She's no longer a customer here. Karen, what the hell do you think you're doing? AM, ma'am, we tried to be polite with you, but you wouldn't have it. You will not insult me or my tellers. You most certainly will not throw things at them when they're doing their jobs, and you're no longer welcome in this branch. We're closing your accounts and you're free to open accounts at another bank, and that's exactly what we did. Karen tried to scream about how we had no legal right to do that, but we did. Bank accounts are owned by the bank. Opening an account just means that the bank is allowing you to use them to hold your money and process your financial transactions. So long as all the money in the account is returned to you, banks are well within their legal rights to close your account. It took about 10 minutes. 10 minutes of Karen screaming at both me and AM, issuing hollow legal threats about lawsuits, but all of her checking and savings accounts were closed. I printed up a check for the mid-six figures made out to her. AM signed it. I couldn't sign off on checks that high, and Karen was shown the door. As a parting gift, AM told her that the police would be involved if she ever came back to that branch again. Oh, that's amazing and so satisfying. Like, yeah, get out of here. You think you can treat people like this? Your assistant manager sounds like a legend. I like the entitled people stories where they have a good ending. Like, yeah, stop being so entitled and feeling like you can act like this and treat people awfully and get away with it. The next one is called A Strange Mum's Friend Finds Me at Work and Asks Me to help her do menial stuff. Me and my mum don't talk anymore. She was always hard to get along with, but the past year or so has been unmanageable. I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but I suspect mental illness, but I can't confirm it. She refuses any help and I just had to disconnect. Mum had a friend that always asked me for favors. She'd get mum to text me while I was at work and tell, not ask me, to stop at Starbucks, which was nearly an hour out of my way, and spend my money on buying her coffee. She'd offer my grown ass $5 to $7 to clean her car for her. She'd ask my parents to move my grown ass to the couch and to let her sleep in my bed, the mattress I paid for when I lived at home. Oh my god, they think you're a child. Time went on and I changed jobs a lot. At one point I worked at a Dollar General and this woman found out I worked there and just became ridiculous. The first time she came in, she stood at the door and asked me to find stuff for her. I did it once and she tried to send me back to get a different variety of the item. I just told her what aisle it was on and basically stared at her until she went to look. She would come in fairly often and buy random crap while asking me scores of questions about items, and I had no way of answering. She'd always pay in painfully extra ways. I never minded someone wanted to put some of it on one card and the rest on another card. I know sometimes you're in a weird spot, but she did that as a matter of course. My co-workers finally started letting me go on break when she showed up, and I'd hide or chill at least until she checked out and left. That's all the backstory. Currently I work in a non-public facing role in a school-like facility. It's a rehabilitation setting for mentally handicapped adults. That is to say, there's absolutely no reason for this woman to swing by here. Now, we do allow and encourage visitors, but we mean visitors for clients, not staff. This woman apparently bumbled around the front desk for a bit before somebody asked her what she needed. She asked where I was, and my well-meaning co-worker pointed her in my direction. She walked into my room and just started jabbering at me. I think she must have been on something because it was this like endless run-on sentence with no end. Everything she said is kind of a fog, but she just rattled off like so so many little demands. She wanted me to help her move some furniture around, and she wanted to give me $10 to mow her very large yard. She wanted me to give my mum money since I'm doing so well. Yo, I drive a 20-year-old car. She mentioned something about gas money, something about me needing a haircut. She's worked at a salon. Maybe she wanted me to pay her to cut my hair. If I had to sum it up, it was a lot of man chores and IT. She made several other demands, some of which are harder to convey without context, and I eventually just kind of physically walked her to the door and just kind of lied and said that she couldn't be here. I then talked to my bosses and got them on board. Yeah, like the top comment says, I demand you make me a cake and wash my car and then go help your mother with her garden. Yeah, like what are they talking about? Yeah, you must do these random pointless things. Get out of here. Who do you think you are to even ask this of them? Creating stuff for you to do like you're bored or something. And yeah, I'll give you $10. Yeah, I feel like this is a good time to read something wholesome, guys. It's been a beautiful episode, but that's enough for today. My wife loves crumble cookies. I drove half an hour to the closest one. Then we sat in the car, listened to an audiobook and swapped flavors. Crumbs down our shirts and in our laps, both of us jacked on sugar, giggling like kids, but in fact we're nearly 40. It was awesome. Oh, that's so cute. Good on you for doing stuff like that. Like the little things that bring you so much joy. It's so easy to forget to do stuff like this, but stuff like this really does matter. Saying my life sucks when things go wrong. Self-deprecating, depressing, makes you sad. Saying Spinosaurus Egypticus wouldn't want this for me when things go wrong. Motivating, makes you think about Spinosaurus. Remind you that Spinosaurus cares for you. Wait, how do you say that? Egypticus? I'm sorry, dinosaur fans out there. I'm a dinosaur fan, but I can't pronounce this. But yeah, that's right. That's a super important message. Spinosaurus wouldn't want this for me. You know, that is motivating. So my husband bought a book for our cat today. Sharing your home with a human. Rule number 10. Nighttime is the best time for your concert. Practice your vocals. Oh my god, there's nothing more true in the world. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys before, but Nez is obsessed with having clean paws. So if she goes to the toilet in the middle of the night or something, she like scratches her paws against the wall for ages until they're clean. Or like don't have kitty litter on them or whatever. I know it's not a nighttime concert, but it might as well be. Still wakes you up just as fast. Me is an atheist. Also me, when I hear someone sneeze, burp or fart. Bless you. Yeah, it's like when you say, oh my god. They've become such commonplace sayings. But yeah, that's so funny. And once again, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more entitled people, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to DuskyT3844. I love watching your videos. It's definitely become a part of my daily routine. If I may give a suggestion, I think you should do a video that's just wholesome memes. First of all, thank you for watching my videos. That means so much to me. Your support is greatly appreciated. And yeah, definitely, I'm sure we're going to do another wholesome meme episode one day. I have done a couple of videos before that were just wholesome memes as well. But yeah, don't worry, it'll definitely happen again. I'm a little bit too invested in the horrifying content at the moment, but the day will come and I'll make a video that's only wholesome. And yeah, guys, thank you for joining me for another episode. I've got a super fun video planned for tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!